Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome back to the Talos Principle. And today we are going to be tackling the final level of World C. World C7, which has 4 sigils and a single star. Let's begin.
Our time here is nearing an end. I'm actually kind of proud of you. You've come a lot further than most. Frankly, you're owning it. Don't let it go to your head, though. This is just one game amongst thousands, millions even. Granted, I'm particularly fond of this game. I mean, this is the one that I'm in. But a victory here for you is just a stone tossed in the ocean. But you know, I do have to admit, sometimes it's a good feeling throwing a stone into an ocean.
It's also a good feeling that Sam is pretty proud that we've managed to solve a whole bunch of puzzles. And we don't even have to talk to Milton Library Assistant anymore since we purged him in the previous episode, which some people might call a little bit tragic, but he was a little bit of a pest, and every time we just wanted to complete a world, he is like, "Hey, I don't like you, so I'm gonna tell you why I think you're wrong about life." And yeah, that's, he might be correct on some points. But it doesn't matter now because he is banished, you might say. And there's also a QR code here over here from me, and one from Coco as well. And there are also actually 2 time capsules in here. There's one over here, which is very easy to see, and there's actually one that's hidden back here, and it's pretty easy to miss, actually. But, to go in the correct order, we're going to listen to this one first, which is a game controller. It looks, you know, it kind of looks like the Steam controller.
There's no time. Just not enough time. We're trying to build the future out of old video game code and half-finished research projects. We should have had years, maybe decades, with the kind of money they used to put into building bombs. If I stop and think about how crazy this is, I will have a nervous breakdown. So I won't. Yeah, okay. Back to work, Alex.
She seems distressed. The reason there are 2 here is probably because they were trying to fit in parts of the story. Oh no, that glitch was kind of weird for a second. But I don't know, they're both really short at the same time, but I kind of wonder why they didn't bother fitting both into one. Oh well.
Intelligence is more than just problem solving. Intelligence is questioning the assumptions you're presented with. Intelligence is the ability to question existing thought constructs. If we don't make that part of the simulation, all we'll create is a really effective slave.
Like I said, both really short, but kinda to the point where they get something across. I'm gonna paint a new message because I have not done this in a whole lot of time. I solved this one in 20 seconds. Get on with it. Yes, I'm quite a conceited individual, robotic person, android, yes. Right, we're gonna start off with Prison Break. So, you have a couple of fans right here. Place them on these 2 buttons, which are quite parallel from each other. In fact, quite on opposite sides, you might say. There's a fan running over here. It doesn't have a fan piece, but we are going to collect that fan piece eventually. And by eventually, I do mean quite positively soonish, or laterish. First of all, you need to establish a connection like so. And by doing this, that is going to open the door to reveal one of the hexahedrons. Grab it, and just go for a very merry jog back from whence you came. What you need to do with this one is grab this fan piece and hold down the button with the box. And thankfully the box is just low enough so that way it will not intersect with the laser. Start powering this fan, and then once you're finished with that business, you take this connector with you. Just connect it, like, at the beginning here, preemptively if you so desire, and just place it down right about here-ish. Because there's only one connector back here, and that connector is required to open this door. And once you've made enough progress on that, you can find that there is a whole new laser connection device right over here. But we do not have any objects to power it, so instead, we're just going to connect a couple of things like this, and for the time being, leave it just like that until we grab a box. Just a single box is all we need. So that way we can hold the door open like so, and now we no longer need to worry about all our problems in life, because we can just grab this connector right over here and take it with us on a very merry jog so that we could collect that one. There's a whole bunch of collecting we have to do. We're stealing all of these connectors for our own worth. And some people will probably say, that's mean, you should not do that. And I will concede, yes, it is a little bit of a mean act of rudeness. But I don't care. I really don't care. This is how I solve puzzles, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So, now then, here's what you have to do. You have to collect at least one more connector with you on this journey. And sadly, this one's a little bit more awkward to collect, because you need to have this door powered. And, well, you can probably already see the issue that has arisen, and that would be the fact that this one's kind of trapped over here, and you can't really do much about it. So, instead, what we are going to do is take this with us. And by doing so, we need to hold open a door. One of these doors, actually. This was just really, really awkward, because if I move any of these, then they're gonna be trapped there forever. There's not really anything I can conceivably do about that. I wish I could. I wish I might. But sadly, that is not meant to be. So, instead, we're gonna take this box. Take this box somewhere fairly important, I'd say. I'd say that this box is gonna be brought right over here, because we do need it for one singular button all the way out there. Now then, now that I think about it, I think I only need 2 connectors. It does seem that way, yeah. Right then, you only need 2 connectors for this one. I'm misremembering this one slightly, and you'll have to forgive me on that one, because I had to do my test playthrough. The thing is, when I'm recording this right now, it's like a day or 2 after I did my test playthrough of this level, and I'm not gonna remember things all that well because of it. I wish I did, and the more sensible thing to do would probably just be to, like, look up a walkthrough immediately before I started doing a puzzle. But I did not bother doing that because I'm just a senseless individual. I'm sure everyone has already realized this, and, sorry. Now, there is probably one more connection we have to make before this is all fine and done, which would be to bring this one around from whence we came, because there is a single connection which we need to make by rushing over here onto that panel. Now just place it down on the box, and by doing this, you'll have a dead connection, but it will be alive shortly. These things take time to come to life. So, by doing this, then you might have a solution to all of your problems. Just like that. Now you can take this fan piece, plop it onto this pressure pad, and make a sprint with this connector to solve the puzzle. This one's probably the most complex one of the entire area. It's okay, and I like the thought process behind it, but you really do have to be careful with what you're doing, otherwise you will mess up quite dramatically.